And welcome to The Corner. I'm the Frosted Glass, and I'm joined by my fellow Alabaster Savages, Jack Gunsky.
There is nothing wrong with yogurt that has apricot jam in it.
Okay.
Yeah, Jack is partying today. Moonshock.
The best kind of cottage cheese is large curd.
And Terry Diamantis.
As per the stream title, we'll be getting rid of Jack and Moon and replacing them with a black and an Asian, just
Ooh.
to keep things fair.
Face
right.
is a large curd.
And this week's special guest, Prospero.
Hello. No, I don't have anything white or racist to say.
We're not racist.
Large curd cottage cheese is disgusting, however.
No, it's delicious.
No, small curd is better.
No.
Yes.
No.
I've been eating it longer than you've been alive. It's better.
Look, I will settle this because I don't know anything about this topic. So I'll say small is better because you can just combine multiple small ones to get a big one. There you go. So,
All right. Well, the whole cottage cheese debate is too controversial, so let's get to the first article. So, I wish I wasn't able to carry children.
That can be arranged. Just go to like Iran or something and maybe, say something about Allah and they'll punch you in the stomach. There you go.
just join the Lincoln Project, and then once people find out, you won't be allowed near children, much less to carry them. So, there you go.
I was challenged to find the pros of being a woman, and I couldn't find any.
Oh dear God.
Oh my God.
Since writing an article that became viral and made me a top writer under the tag feminism, I've received tons of feedback from people on Medium, but mostly from people...
Don't you just love the modesty?
Oh my God. I hate this person so much.
Why?
Just within the opening lines, they say all the things that make me hate them. You couldn't have tailored a list that makes me want to hate you more.
All right, well, she goes on to say that peach yogurt sucks. So
Yeah.
the feedback was mainly positive, but sometimes also somewhat negative. In particular, a male friend of mine challenged me to write a parallel article about all the pros of being a woman that a man has no idea of. I immediately responded to him that there aren't any.
Oh my God. None whatsoever.
Nope. Something wrong, Prospero?
Okay, just kill yourself then. I mean, if your life is... I'm sorry, but there are no pros at all to existence. All right, you nihilistic twat. Just get your whole face in front of the shotgun.
Maybe she sees the value of being a living human being, just not the woman aspect of it. But then again, I'm inclined to agree.
Just put in the comments, have you considered killing yourself?
Yeah, I just made the mistake of reading ahead. Oh my God.
Hey,
I find that being a woman is one of the most problematic, difficult, full of unnecessary struggles things that exists on planet Earth. I personally think that a very nasty being had fun creating a system that is so flawed that it spontaneously bleeds every single month.
Oh, God damn it. That is not a flaw. That's a feature. It's just... Okay. Have a hysterectomy, you bitch.
Jesus,
everything will be fine.
Human beings manage to live for thousands, tens of thousands of years without some dumb bitch coming in saying, "Oh, well, wouldn't it be better if we didn't have periods?"
Well, the whole thing is it's a broken system, and it's like, no, there's a reproductive system. It exists in all them critters out there. All of them reproduce.
And don't like 3/4 of feminists say like, take pride in your period and all that shit?
Oh yeah, and they're pussy hats and whatever. It's just a fact of life. Get over it.
Well, that's the problem when your entire worldview is based upon something that you reckon just off the top of your head, and everything is supposed to serve as an allegory instead of the facts based upon what it is. Suddenly, everything has to be a metaphor for something, and the metaphors are so vague that you can make something both positive and negative, dependent on the way of which way you want to phrase it to push some sort of perverse ideological agenda.
Yeah, and it's just there's all kinds of ways. Number one, she could stop this. I mean, she really could. But when you were talking about a worldview, her worldview is in the mirror. This is just a shrieking narcissist. Everything is about her. The entire world is supposed to rotate about what bothers her. And she bothers herself. That's how unhappy she is. What a self-absorbed
being a woman. She has been given the curse of womanhood, which has just ruined her entire existence. So I mean, have some heart.
I think that
might as well be bitten by a werewolf or something.
I think that Prospero just inadvertently discovered the entire premise of Medium as a concept.
Yeah, it's self-absorbed
Bunch
twats.
of total narcissism.
Blood. We lose actual blood from our bodies every single month, if we're lucky and everything works fine. And we're trained to think that it is normal, that it is something that makes us more of a woman.
It is normal.
My head is losing blood just listening to this tripe.
Yeah, you'll get used to it.
It is absolutely perfectly normal, you stupid, stupid, stupid cunt.
Everything I don't like isn't normal. That's what you're saying. Everything I don't like is abnormal. It is wrong. It should not exist. Guess what? This is called life. The facts of life are that sometimes things you don't like just happen. And it's nobody's fault. And nobody did anything to you. And you're not being oppressed. It's just the facts. It's just the way that things happened. And that's it.
I'm
But
surprised.
if there wasn't patriarchy, they wouldn't happen that way. So we need to dismantle it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm just surprised she can even bleed from her vagina since her head's up there.
Patriarchy invented periods.
Of course they did. That's absolutely right.
White supremacy invented periods.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. So God wears clan robes and is most definitely male in gender. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a man that invented the female reproductive cycle. Got it.
Now we know what they meant when they were chanting blood and soil.
That it is something that makes us more of a woman. That it is something that makes us unique in a positive way. Well, me being anemic, I guarantee there's nothing positive or unique in losing a ton of freaking blood from my vagina every single month.
Okay, then eat a bunch of kale.
You want some
Yeah, here's some Geritol. Suck it up. I mean, I'm sorry you're anemic, ma'am. And there are medications that you can take to help address this. There are medications that you could take that could stop those pesky little periods if you'd like. But then I'm sure there'd be all kinds of side effects and that kind of stuff. More of the downside of being a woman. Why? Here's an idea. Why don't you transition?
Hey, I would just like to point out to the audience that once a day, every day for my entire life, I have had to take a shit. And I think that is a terrible, terrible experience for human beings to actually expel waste from a tiny little hole in your body. It's terrible. And then you got to wipe it and it gets all dirty and it's smelly. I think I should just die.
That can be arranged. We'll talk after the thing.
Maybe you can meet this lady.
I think I should die, and I think that anyone else who shits should also just Just die. That's all there is to it. Because obviously, the slightest problem with my life means that I should just perish from the earth.
Yeah, bodily functions that have existed since man fell out of the trees are all now a giant imposition to these self-absorbed people.
So should we look forward to a book coming from you, Jack, called The Fecal Diaries?
No, it will be a book called Everybody Poops, why that's a bad thing.
Yeah. That's part 2, not to be confused with a children's book called Everybody Poops.
Everybody poops too. We should all die.
Yeah. That's for your child, a primer before they read Camus.
So by now, you'll have an idea about how I feel about being a woman. But my friend being a very Catholic person, he has a very idyllic idea in his mind about what it is to be a woman. The fact that we're able to carry children, to bring life into this world and all of that. The problem is, I personally think this is all complete bullshit.
Hang on, we don't know that's what the word is. There's asterisks. It could be bush tit. Maybe she's talking about birds.
Yeah.
It's all complete bush tit.
I tell you what,
A cute little bird.
78% of this world is water, so go ahead and dump yourself into one of that 78% and see what that happens to you.
Being able
to... the moon is sexist. He's on this show.
Well, yeah, duh. Hey, wait,
Yes.
what? No.
Nope, too late. Being able to carry children isn't something I consider a pro of being a woman. While I understand that for some people it can be great to be able to have children, and while I also understand the struggle infertile women face when wanting to have children, that possibility is currently for me a nightmare and nothing else.
Thank God. Thank God.
So,
I'm glad she doesn't want to reproduce.
Yeah, it's probably for the best. Something I have to work hard to avoid, a chance I have to be careful to escape every time I want to have sex, something to run away from.
Just don't have sex.
Don't have sex or have your plumbing removed, okay?
They guarantee you won't get pregnant if you don't have sex.
The world doesn't need another lizard. You know what I mean?
Are you saying she should be responsible, Terry? That's sexist.
Yes.
How dare you?
And while I know that people will mainly disagree with me, I'm coming out as someone who doesn't care if she's able to carry children. To be honest, I would much more prefer to be born without having this inherent possibility inside of me. I perceive it as a curse living non-invited inside of my body, instead of a blessing that I should be grateful for.
What the?
Her fucking mother should have swallowed.
Yeah. It would be great if, like, she showed this to her mom, and her mom was like, yeah, I feel the same way.
But the thing is, this is kind of a self-solving problem, because if the more people feel like they're not going to be in next generation.
Well, yeah, but Terry, nobody wants to wait that long for these people to die off.
Yeah, it's like what Kyler says. So she's voluntarily taking herself out of the gene pool? Good.
Yeah. No, I think give her a Darwin Award, because the Darwin Award isn't just for people who kill themselves. It's for people who take themselves out of the gene pool and thus improve the human race. So I say she deserves one.
Yeah.
So no, for me, being able to bring life into this world isn't a pro of being a woman, but a decisive con.
Coincidentally, the decisive con could also be the person who makes her pregnant.
Having to suffer the risk of carrying a parasite inside of me isn't
No!
a pro.
No!
Wow!
Your biology teacher needs to jump when you jump.
Wow! That is just such an incredibly awful way of seeing a human child. It's a child, for Christ's sake. Do you look at children? You look at a child like in the park playing with the ball or whatever, and say, it's a parasite. Fucking little parasite. Someone should swat you like a fly. No. Jesus Christ.
Don't say no. I think she probably does.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it, honestly.
Well, then maybe someone needs to remove that tumor that she calls a brain.
Okay, so we've established that she's a narcissist and a sociopath.
Yes.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
So, yeah, feminist. Having to suffer the risk of carrying a parasite inside of me isn't a pro of being a woman, but a decisive con. Having to suffer the risks related to pregnancy and childbirth isn't a pro of being a woman. Having people constantly trying to tell us what to do with our bodies isn't a pro of being a woman.
Oh, shut the fuck up. No one has ever told you what to do with your body.
And that's why she's
No one.
upset.
No, wait, you didn't let me finish that sentence. With our bodies isn't a pro of being a woman. Nobody ever does it to men.
Yeah.
Oh,
Men
right.
have been forced to join the military and fight in wars that
Yeah.
they didn't
Well,
want to.
I kind of also take a little bit of pause with that statement too, because are not companies saying that now people have to take the jab? That's doing something to your body.
Oh, that's
No.
Yeah, but
different.
that's something that's good for the narrative. So that doesn't count.
Ah, got it. My bad.
I'm
Sorry.
working on the theory that those vaccinations are just some sort of bizarre attempt to sterilize the homeless.
Well, it is. There is a rumor out there that it is considered population control as well. So
Well, I mean that's if it's not an actual vaccine, then that's what people
which it's not.
would default to assuming it is.
Hmm.
And I've decided that I don't care what people think about me feeling this way, or how this makes me look. That's how I feel. That's how I feel, and I'm not apologizing for it anymore.
Let's fix that sentence for her. Let's fix that sentence. And I've decided I don't care what people think about me.
Well, somebody needs to go and knock this woman up as soon as possible.
No.
No.
If you're single and you don't want kids, Francesca Delaglio might be the one for you.
That's what this whole Medium article has served as. She didn't want to create a dating profile.
Yeah.
But I don't know, but judging by her photo, she is at very best a butterface.
Oh, I could look her ass up right now and just see what she looks like. but-
Don't do that.
I am looking at a 1/4 inch tall picture of her face, and even I can tell she ugly.
Yeah. All right, but with the end of the first article comes the first game.
Yay!
And the
Game.
first game is Sad Libs.
Your
That's
best game ever.
This is where I take 4 headlines from Medium, take out one word, and you guys have to fill in that word Mad Lib style. And then the chat votes on which one is the best. So, Jack, I need a person.
Stacey Abrams. Oh, fine. Hitler.
No, he said Stacey Evans.
I know, but it's not going to be funny.
Well,
just
you
gonna
don't
be-
know that. It might be.
Okay, fine. Stacey.
Okay.
I'm taking a risk
All right.
because it's funny to make fun of Stacey Abrams.
Moon, I need an adjective.
Juicy.
No.
Well, you couldn't say moist.
There you go.
Nah, juicy sounds a little bit.
My dinner's coming up.
Terry, I need a plural noun.
I think in light of the previous article, I've got to go parasites.
And Prospero, I need a living thing.
It's a living thing. Sorry.
A baby parasite. No.
Coati.
What?
What?
It's a South American. It's a South American raccoon-like rodent.
Just put raccoon.
Just put raccoon.
Yeah, raccoon.
Just put in
Raccoon works.
Just put in coon.
No.
All right, raccoon it is.
Jesus Christ.
All right, let's see. Jax is I still believe Stacey Abrams is a rapist.
Oh my God.
We told you not to change it. See, you owe us.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't change it. You were right.
All right, and Moon, queers, crackpots, and juicy women.
Oh man.
All right, Terry's. Black people giving up parasites won't be easy, despite health benefits.
Oh my
God.
They like them tapeworms.
And Prospero, another historically significant queer raccoon you've never heard of.
No.
All right. And I'll start the poll so that the chat can vote on which one is best. Instructions on how to vote are up on the screen.
Maybe I should have done moist because then moist women.
And moist women, yeah.
No,
I think Juicy's
Jack
better.
wins. I think Juicy's better, but I also think Jack wins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I just like making
Definitely.
I just like making fun of Stacey Abrams.
Well, it worked. In this instance, it paid off.
Well, you could have said Tess Holiday.
She's such an easy target, though, isn't she?
Yeah.
Tess
she's a-
Holiday jokes are old.
No, I mean Stacey Abrams, because she lost, and then they tried to keep her relevant, and she's still in their minds relevant, and she was never relevant. She's famous for being a loser.
Yeah, but that's what makes her funnier than Tess Holiday.
Isn't
Yeah.
she the one that did the eating the salad with a comb or some shit like that?
Nah, wasn't that Klobuchar?
Oh, that's right, Amy Klobuchar.
No,
Alright.
she was the one who appeared in a photo shoot wearing a cape like she was a superhero, but she's a fat, ugly woman.
Yeah.
No,
So
the
it was
thing-
really
the thing,
tragic.
the thing I remember about Stacey Abrams was she was invited on some show where they were going to announce the vice president.
Oh
And like, she was fully convinced it was her.
Oh yeah, and the look on her face when they said it wasn't her.
Yeah,
All right, but the winner with 8 votes is Jack.
of course.
Yeah.
Yay!
That was a well-deserved victory. There's
Yes.
That's-
But we mustn't forget about those juicy women out there.
all
Yes.
the queer raccoons.
Or parasites. Or
All
black
right.
people's parasites.
See, I was hoping mine would be calling black people parasites rather than just suggesting that they have them. That would have worked better, but you know.
Well, and now on to our second article. Dracula is the king of racist and homophobic media.
And you know I liked it for a reason.
Discrimination persists even after a century of adaptations.
What?
Oh, this is another goddamn Indian woman, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, Agarwal. That's an Indian surname.
Ever since
Why?
Bram Stoker's iconic novel, there's been no turning back for the Count. Withstanding countless adaptations, his story continues to populate our collective imagination. Dracula can be accredited for flooding our pop culture with a fascination for vampires. From Edward Cullen to Stefan Salvatore, I don't know who that
Never
one
heard of
is.
him.
The fanfare for vampires runs so deep that people coughed up money to endure 2 hours of Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Due to the characters...
I hope this article has a "out for the count" pun somewhere in it. I'll be very disappointed if they don't do that.
No.
Well, I'm counting on it.
There you go.
Due to the character's enormous cultural footprint, it's imperative to understand how the dread around the Count came to be. There must be something in the Dracula story that has managed to raise goosebumps around the globe. Unfortunately, it turns out that Dracula appeals to its audience's subliminally racist and homophobic perceptions to evoke its element of horror. something that really makes us wonder about how discrimination is a common denominator for our culturally diverse civilization.
All right, first of all, this is a fictional character. Fictional characters shouldn't even be considered when it comes to this stupid shit.
It's also what iteration of Dracula are you talking about?
All
I
of
mean,
them. What they're saying is, despite the multitude of adaptations, he's still homophobic and racist.
Yeah, the thing is that the Stoker is a very, very modern interpretation of the vampire story. I mean, that's been around for centuries. So
Yes, but
So
they're
they've been
talking
gay this
specifically
whole
about
time.
Dracula, not just vampires in general. Their issue is with Dracula.
So they've been gay this whole time, but Stoker just outed them?
There you go.
So
Okay.
I'm guessing that we're not going to talk about Sparkle Boy Edward then, right?
no, he just got a brief mention in the credits earlier. That's all.
No, ironically, that one completely straight.
Jeez.
To gauge
Sure he is.
To gauge the deeply homophobic nature of the story, it's important to understand how Stoker's Count is a queer character. From the outset, the audience can ascertain a powerful sense of homoeroticism in the Count's interactions with Jonathan Harker. From gastrosexual dinner sequences
What the fuck does that mean?
to the draining of Harker's youth, not
What
to
the
mention
fuck is gastrosexual? I gotta know. I gotta look
Gastrosexual
this.
is food and sex.
I gotta look this shit up.
I
Continue.
told you.
Not to mention the sensualized location of the bite. The legend clearly outlines the sexual power play.
Oh my god.
What?
A person, especially a man, who uses cooking skills to impress friends and potential partners. You fucking idiots.
Something which is later reinforced through numerous phallic symbols like the wooden stake and the cross.
Oh,
I kind of get the stake. How is a cross?
cross just became phallic. That's nice.
Like, you know how there's
I've got to say, mine is not shaped like a cross.
You know,
what, you don't have the big horizontal
There's no cross
phallus
beam on
going
your
across.
that's all I could think of when I was watching the Passion was big massive cock.
Yeah.
Jack, are we going to have to say it again? Look at the size of my dick.
Of course, that's what Jack thinks when he watches every movie, but
That's true.
scholarly research on the author's personal life lends more credence to this theory, clearly establishing how the Count's indiscriminate picking of his victims hints towards his queer sexuality. Now, in light of Count Dracula's sexuality, let's look at what's the primary fear around him. Unlike most...
Assuming this thing that we made up is true, which it isn't, but assuming it's true, here's why it's a problem.
Mhm.
Unlike
it's an abstraction from an abstraction. Like I said, these people, they view metaphors that don't exist in everything, and then they interpret that as some sort of fact that they must correct in some manner.
Anybody want a time machine and launch this person back so that they're directly standing in front of Vlad the Impaler and have them explain why he's problematic and gay?
Unlike most monsters, vampires don't exactly kill you, in fact. In a lot of versions, they offer nearly immortal lives. So the terror around Dracula is certainly not stemming from the fear of mortality. Modern critics note the paranoia around Dracula emerges from his ability to effeminate the men and masculinize the women.
Man, surely the fear is the loss of humanity rather than the loss of life. Like, if you get turned into a vampire, you are no longer human. That's the threat.
Yes.
No, it's the fear of being made gay, Terry.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it has nothing to do with the fact that you're basically a zombie. You know, that don't. Nope. It's the gay.
As a result of his parasitism, Harker is left
Oh,
as the...
Parasite come back.
He's a baby. Harker is left as the docile, almost spayed creature, while his fiancée becomes an emboldened presence. The irony and horror of such a reversal would not be lost on Stoker's Victorian audience that adhered to strict gender roles. Basically, the Count is set up as a queer third wheel with the power to distort heterosexual matrimony. Therefore, the fear of the original Dracula was generated by appealing to the audience's homophobia.
This is impressive.
It is. Another narcissist, all upset that, and needing to write a term paper.
Now, let's move on to the racism.
Let's do that.
Oh, cool, because Victorian England was just a hotbed of... Oh, God. I know where they're going with this. Never mind. Oh, God.
Stoker's Dracula personifies the xenophobia of the Victorian audience. The original set out to spook. Scholars of the Victorian period identify how the idea of reverse colonialism from the East haunted England. At that time, the British sentiment looked down upon the Slavic and Balkan people as racially inferior. In that context, Dracula's Romanian origins, coupled with his evil plan of importing vampires into the Isles, fanned the flames of the British paranoia about their lands being encroached by an Easterner.
So I think
What?
this just proved that Saw is a vampire.
I
Definitely.
studied a good bit of English history. Now, Victorian period wasn't the thing for me, but I don't really remember anything about Eastern Europe being... Now, the Roma people, the gypsies, were one thing, but...
The tramps and thieves were two others.
Yes, indeed. Entirely different. It's... I don't remember any big deal about the xenophobia of the Eastern culture. That the
That's-
Balkan people were going to take over the British Isles.
You just need to spend more time in this author's reality.
Yeah,
That's
because
simple as that.
the sun didn't set on the English Empire at this time. They were at their height.
No, Britain's
Why
arch
would they have
nemesis.
been afraid?
Britain's arch
of the-
nemesis at the time was the Balkans. Everybody knows that.
Right. Yeah. Sure. Okay.
I think this is my favorite article. I think I like this one more than the other one.
Yeah.
The-
I'm just confused.
Thus, the Dracula story taps into the pre-existing xenophobia in its audience to raise some goose flesh.
Oh, bullshit. They were fascinated by horror. They were fascinated by death. They were fascinated by seances and that kind of shit. That's why the Dracula story and stories like Phantom of the Opera and Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, horror and the
Just while I'm thinking
absurd.
of it, I claim dibs on Fagula for Quippers.
Oh,
Okay,
but we
you
haven't.
got it.
But we haven't even gotten to Poe or No gender edition yet.
Well, I might not use Fagula, but that's where I'm thinking of going.
Oh, and I got a notification that apparently the meeting ends in 5 minutes, so I'm probably gonna have to re-invite you guys in.
Fuck.
Once
Oh,
that
I'm
ends.
fine.
Yeah. So if you guys suddenly get kicked out, I'll send an invite through Discord for you guys and Twitter for Prospero.
Thanks, Google.
Yay.
Yeah.
Fucking Google.
Speaking of fags. All right. As a result of the xenophobia, Van Helsing's quest automatically gets draped in a troubling white man's burden. By pitching Van Helsing's bravado as a crusade against the subaltern miasma from East, we divide the distinction between the good guys and the bad guys as chiseled on racist lines. Dracula goes under rigorous depersonalization, and is reduced, I'm guessing, to a satanic force bereft of even basic human faculties like speech. By using race as a prop to make him more fearful, Stoker stigmatizes Dracula's race in the most problematic ways, exasperating effects of which are borne by Romanians to this day.
Damn it, Sora.
Yeah, this is all Sora's
This is all
fault.
her fault.
Okay, so all the gothic is xenophobic, and that's really good.
Alright, and I'll just skip to the conclusion. All is not to trample upon a significant cultural icon that has enthralled people for the better part of this century, but to merely call for more cognizance to prevent the future pathologization of race and gender as instruments for fear-mongering. In the entertainment industry, comedians who use problematic content for quick laughs are looked down upon. I firmly believe that creators of the horror genre must also be held to the same standards. Someone's sexuality and race are certainly not things to be painted as objects of disgust. Since the dawn of time, our society will create and recreate legends. Of course, we cannot go back to seek retribution against centuries of mischaracterization, but can certainly prevent indiscretions in the future.
So sexuality and race should not be things that are painted as objects of disgust. Children, on the other hand, should be.
Yeah. Children, they just have it coming.
Yeah.
Interesting. Apparently, this person didn't look into Bram Stoker at all.
I like what Faithful says, I want to suck your dick.
Yeah. In all likelihood, it's very possible that Bram Stoker was a repressed homosexual.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually, he met with a Hungarian Jewish writer and traveler who told him stories of the Carpathian Mountains, and he spent years researching Central and Eastern European folklore and mythology for this. But the homoerotic aspects of Dracula is what make people think, especially because he adored Walt Whitman and shared interest with Oscar Wilde and was very, very fearful that maybe the crime, what is it, the crime that shall not be spoken, that
It's about to end, just so you know, in case you're going to get cut off mid-sentence.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
I won't say anything else.
All right, I'm probably going to end this call and start another one right now.
We'll be right back, everybody.
Yeah, sorry about this chat, but Google Meet is being stupid.
So that is so incredibly annoying.
Yep.
And I'm probably going to have to do it this Sunday because I'm not going to have a backup on hand.
Yeah, I'm going to have to switch to StreamYards or something for next week.
I think so.
All right. Just got to wait for Prospero, and then we can get to the next game.
Are we still live?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, hello, audience.
All right.
You can blame Google for this, for being a selfish dick.
Yeah.
Thanks, Google.
All right. I think we're all back now.
Yes.
So, for the second game, I'm actually bringing back an old favorite.
Oh no.
That's right. The caption contest.
Oh
no.
God.
Yay!
Hey, at least it's better than the goddamn wheel.
And this is the one where I show a photo of a political event or person, and the chat has to come up with a caption to go with it. And whichever one we think is funniest, I'll tweet out after the show. Alright, and this week's picture is Joe Biden unhinging his jaw to eat 2 scoops of ice cream.
Oh my
2?
God.
Wait, why did he get 2?
2 scoops. 2 scoops of ice cream?
And remember, it's chocolate chip. Woo!
Alright, so in the chat, start coming up with captions, and we'll figure out which one's best.
Now remember,
Oh,
Jack,
sorry.
you are prohibited from participating.
I thought it was a little girl's head.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Look at
I
the
stole-
kid in the background. Even has an uneasy look.
I
Yeah.
stole this from the latest kid I sniffed.
Yeah.
This is one of those ones where the more you look at it, the more funnier it is.
It almost looks like that the hand and the ice cream cone itself have been photoshopped in there.
Well, I think it just goes to show that he's learning from Kamala. He's taking the wisdom on board.
Can we count on his knees holding up though?
No, he's a very old man, so probably not.
Wow, we've only had one person with a suggestion. Oh wait,
Why is? Oh, sorry.
We have one from Willet. Snakes aren't the only ones that can unhinge their jaws.
Head and Shoulders flavor, my favorite.
Yeah.
Why is the media trying to paint Joe Biden as someone who loves ice cream? Is this literally the most relatable thing they can find about him?
Wait,
Because
I like ice cream. I want to vote for this guy.
ugh, it's
What a-
so pathetic and transparent.
Faithless. Stuck. Don't leave me, Ralphie.
That's a good one.
Stuck.
That's a good one.
That is well done.
Come back.
We have a front runner, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't get that one, but I'm guessing it's a reference to something.
Christmas story.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the kid gets his tongue stuck to a flagpole because
On
it's winter.
It was a double dog dare, wasn't it? Or no, a triple dog dare.
Triple dog dare without.
Oh wait,
yeah,
do you guys even know about that? Getting your tongue stuck to flagpoles?
or
I've-
any
I've-
metal object.
I've heard of it happening. I've never seen it. I've never known it to happen to anyone.
Wow.
I saw someone get their hand stuck to the metal freezer part inside of old styled refrigerator that has the exposed metal.
Mhm.
Yep, and it required tossing water on it,
Let's see.
which is why what the fire department does to him is just terrible. Just pour water on it.
Let's see. Good job, Joe. Just go slow so you don't drop it, buddy.
Honestly, if you don't have warm water, you can probably pour cold water on it and it'd do the same thing.
Oh yeah, it will. Because it's going to be warmer than the temperature
Yeah.
of the metal. I'm wondering whether the ice cream got brain freeze from him.
But the other thing is, if you already drank the cold water, then as soon as it leaves your body, that'll also be fairly warm. So,
If you can piss up a pole, yes.
hey, I
sounds-
mean,
That
You just
sounds
gotta
like a
piss all over
really-
your face and you'll be fine.
It
Yeah.
sounds like a really old fashioned insult. Go piss up a pole.
Instead of piss up a rope. Yeah.
yeah.
And then my nurse
Wait,
did
piss
this.
up a rope is a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you never
I've
heard that
never
one?
heard of it.
You've
No,
never
I have
heard-
not.
Yeah. It tells him, go piss up a rope.
Let's see. Since this flavor seems to be turtle, does this count as tongue buttering the cave?
Yeah.
All right, so I think I'll call it for suggestions now. I think I gotta go with the Christmas Story one.
Yeah.
Same. Same.
I've never
Yeah.
seen it, so I'm going to go with evolved potato.
All right. So is that tie with everyone except Terry?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'll just copy that down so I can tweet it out later. And congrats, Faithless.
Yay.
All right. And now, on to our third article. How I Grew Up Transphobic with Ace Ventura.
What?
Oh my god!
Oh God.
I don't know. I haven't read this specific article, but I have read a lot of articles where people bitch out Ace Ventura for being transphobic.
Hating trans people was popular culture just a generation ago.
No, it was
Bring
even
it
less
back.
than a
Bring it
generation.
back.
It was even
Yeah.
less than a generation
The
ago.
90s
We're
was a
talking-
generation ago.
We're-
20, 30
20 years.
Yeah.
I've seen people making transgender jokes less than a decade ago. This is
So,
an
yeah, no, 30
extremely.
years. The 90s was 30 years ago, so that is a generation.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that less than a decade ago, I've seen people making jokes about transgender people. It is
I saw it today.
no, but I mean, like in a way that would be considered culturally acceptable.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, gee, this is an extremely recent phenomenon. In terms of the recent phenomenon that's gone on in human history, like acceptance of gay people, that's what 40 years old now, something in that range.
I'm just going to say it. Finkel made a great looking woman. I'm
Yeah.
not ashamed to say.
This is less than a decade. and they're pretending as though it's some sort of divine intervention that requires that everybody suddenly change their mind on a dime.
Is Mrs. Doubtfire transphobic?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Probably.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they killed Robin Williams.
And Tootsie. Yeah. But they didn't kill Dustin Hoffman.
No, not yet.
and the TV show Maude.
Okay, now B. Arthur actually was a woman.
I know, I'm joking.
I mean, allegedly.
Yeah,
I've been told.
just a very robust woman.
I've heard her referred to as handsome.
Yeah,
Fair. I think that's
Yep.
fair.
yeah, 'cause she was an MP actually.
Growing up in the
World War II.
90s. Growing up in the 90s, I remember watching Ace Ventura: Pet Detective in the theaters.
What a
I,
bigot.
I sat there I sat there with hundreds of people munching popcorn watching a hate crime.
For God's sake.
Jesus.
Jesus
What?
Christ. I have got a stabbing pain behind one of my eyes.
I have a stabbing urge as well. I
Yeah.
mean, pain.
Well, that's it. The blade that's in my skull is getting ready to burst out. Oh my God.
Millions of people did. It was a popular movie. In the final scene, Jim Carrey has the villain surrounded by cops and he starts ripping off her clothes. The big punchline, the most terrible crime, is that she's trans. Her body
No.
is so...
Wait, is she trans or is
No,
she
she's not.
or is she just a cross dresser?
Oh my
Cross
God.
dressing is such.
She's got
it-
boobs.
Why do these people they say all this bullshit? They say all this bullshit. They say that cross-dressing is not the same thing as trans, and then every time it's convenient for them to try and cancel something, all of a sudden cross-dressing is trans.
I haven't seen the movie in a fairly long time, but from memory, he didn't like transition. He was just disguising himself as Lois Einhorn.
Kind of like Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis do, and It Happened One Night. Disguise themselves as women.
Yeah.
Or
that
or
was,
Mrs. Doubtfire. You know, it's that
I
it's
thought that
Wasn't that Some
Was-
Like It Hot?
Some Like
yeah.
It Hot. I'm sorry. I said It Happened One Night. Wrong movie. Yes, Some Like It Hot.
no, my immediate thoughts go to that Pink Panther movie. Which one was it?
Mm.
I
Yeah.
forget.
I don't know.
It was one of them. It may have been A Shot in the Dark. I'm not sure.
I don't.
Let's see.
Shot in the dark. I don't remember.
No, there was a cross-dresser in one of those movies, and I forget which one it was.
I don't know. I haven't seen the old, like the original ones.
Oh, they still hold up. They're
Yeah.
still fucking funny.
Better than anything that was done without Peter Sellers.
Of course. I mean, he was Clouseau. There's like,
Yeah.
The physical comedy is beautiful.
Her body is so disgusting that all the cis men holding guns vomit. And we all laughed. We all watched that hate crime and laughed at it together. Today I am ashamed.
So we should cancel the author. They laughed at a hate crime?
Yeah,
That's utterly unacceptable in today's world.
How dare you, author? You should kill yourself.
Yeah. The list grows longer.
They don't need to kill themselves. They just need to never be allowed to work again. That is unacceptable behavior.
Right, it gets better. It's easy to forget that this was just a generation ago. This cinematic lynching was in 1994.
It was less than a generation ago. The only reason you're saying it was a generation ago is because presumably you wouldn't be a part of that generation, which means that you're trying to distance yourself from the crime that you're accusing yourself of doing.
Well, the movie came out in 94, so it's not. It's 27 years old.
Yeah.
It's a more than a generation old.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't change the fact she's trying to distance herself from her own crime of which she is accusing herself.
Well, she already confessed. There's no distancing. She's guilty. She said in her own article that she laughed at the hate crime.
Yeah, I'm sure she's repented and flogged herself enough to make up for it.
I've seen people get cancelled for stuff their parents did. So I don't think there's anything you can do to remove the stain of bigotry once it's been put on you.
The absolute bigotry of the film didn't even register at the time. This was normal. The film ends with a line of cop cars driving to the football stadium where cis men are athletes and cis women are cheerleaders, and everyone is in their proper place.
Wow.
Everything there's it's so what's the word when you're saying everything over the top? It's just it's his everything. There's a word I'm trying to think of and I can't get it. It's when everything you say is dialed up to the max.
Hyperbole?
Yeah, everything is hyperbole. Everything
Hyperbolic.
is the most everything is the most extreme hyperbole they can think of at that moment to describe everything. Why can't people just have a slight sense of proportion? Just a little proportion would be nice.
Well, how are you going to get outrage clicks if you've got a sense of proportion?
Yeah. I watched this and
Before you
felt...
speak, Jack.
This author is worse than Hitler.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's
see,
the right
you're
attitude.
improving. All right. I watched this and felt good. It was a happy ending. The heterosexuals were good and trans people were dangerous, deceptive villains. This is just how we grew up. We grew up transphobic AF.
We may never know what AF stands for.
God.
If you use AF, then no one should take your opinion seriously.
Well, we don't know what
Yeah.
it stands. Maybe it stands for also fat.
Growing up in the 90s in America, I didn't have to go out of my way to be a bigot. We said faggot all the time. Lesbians were a dirty joke. The entire existence of trans people was at best hilarious, at worst a justification for violence. This is all horrifying to write down, but at the time it was just normal. Being
What? I mean,
That's-
really, the justification for violence was normal?
Yeah, didn't everybody go around beating up trans people in the 90s?
Well, yeah, of course.
I guess I missed that day.
Remember when people got like apoplectic about the trans bathroom debates, and they were like, and guys were just like, okay, so a man just has to put on a dress and suddenly he's allowed in the ladies' room, and then people, the progressives were screaming, no, the trans doesn't just mean it's a man in a dress, and now it's like, man in a dress is trans.
Oh wait, yes, but they're different because it's complicated or something.
It's very Schrodinger's cat,
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. Is the is the trans person in the box or not?
If I put on a dress, does that make me trans?
No, it makes you Jack in a dress.
If Jack wears a dress in the woods and nobody's around to see it,
The trees weep.
being homophobic or transphobic is not some unique pathology. This was the dominant culture of the times.
There were not trans people just falling off of trees. We didn't have Macho Man, Tranny Savage in GameStop. There was next to no discussion in the 90s about transsexuality. Okay.
No, it's the dominant culture, Prosper.
No,
The
I've
dominant.
legit-
It was
I've-
totally encompassing of our lives.
The last
I've legitimately never met a single trans person in real life. Like I've met a handful on the internet, because that's like a much broader group of people. But in people I've met in everyday life, never met a single trans person.
transvestites, yes, transsexual one, in real
mean,
life.
They're
But,
like
I mean-
they're like 0.5% of the population.
I mean, there was Christina Jorgensen in the 50s, and then Dr. Renee Richards in the 70s, early 80s, I think 70s, and that was it. And there was discussion of people with dysphoria and transsexuality. You know, if people were talking about dysphoric illness or something like that, but it was not. It was not the cause célèbre that it's become in the last 10 years, when everybody's got to have their own gender and everybody's got their thing. There were, of course, dysphoric people, but the term tranny used to refer to a transvestite.
Yeah.
It didn't refer, or a transmission. It did not refer.
I never even really
transsexual.
heard the term tranny used for
Transsexual? No.
transsexual until people were getting apoplectic. Again, I'm using that word about that particular use of the word, and I was like, I've never heard it used that way.
I mean, Rocky Horror Picture Show. The sweet transsexual from a transvestite in Transylvania. I mean, very distinct categories of sexual expression. Big difference between a transsexual and a transvestite. And you just did not hear very much about transsexuals. So I was under the impression that this character was a transvestite, not a transsexual.
My memory of the movie is that, yes, he was disguised as a woman. He didn't get biologically altered.
Right.
Because you could still see the dick and balls at the end of the movie, like through the underwear. That was like the big reveal, was that was the proof he was a man.
And was he wearing falsies?
I figure he just hadn't gotten bottom surgery yet, because he definitely looked too much like a woman to.
Well, I think that was to trick the audience rather than I don't know.
Tim Curry prettied up too, so I mean, there's some men who can pass as women.
I mean, you don't go from like a football player to this,
Yeah,
just
that's
by
true.
dressing up.
I think the implication was that he was still a he. Like he was just disguising, or maybe he like got surgery or something to do it. But I don't think the point was to change his gender so much as to change his identity in general, so that he would be able to join the police.
I don't know. Let's see. It was not, however, the only culture, and certainly not the only possible one. Also in the 90s, Paris is Burning was released. This documentary covered the vibrant ballroom culture of the 1980s, places where no one laughed at queer or trans people, but instead celebrated them. While society was telling them to sleep in the cinders, young people found fairy godmothers, shoplifted fabulous clothes, and went out to the ball. These balls were grand contests where, even if just for a night, they were cheered instead of jeered. It's a real Cinderella story.
Why do I get the feeling there's a Medium article that says why Paris is burning is transphobic?
I guarantee it.
Someday. Growing
That
up in
probably exists.
Growing up in Columbus, Ohio, I knew nothing about this, but it existed. Thus, I don't want to say by the standards of our times, because that just erases those voices again. Trans people existed in the 90s, and by stubbornly persisting, they have changed popular culture today. Ballroom was a small subculture, but its influence has now spread far and wide. A lesser man would make a joke about that, but, Today we still do voguing dance moves and use phrases like "Yes, Queen" and "throwing shade."
I use neither of those phrases.
Which is a definite improvement of culture.
What?
I added that last part.
What? Oh, okay.
Meanwhile, no one is talking out of their butt or saying "alrighty then," Jim Carrey's catchphrases. Times have changed.
Alrighty then. You want to bet?
Yeah, I guess
Somebody stop me.
Alrighty then doesn't sound as stupid as "Yas Queen."
Uh-huh.
Even throwing shade sounds stupid to me.
This leads, however, to the conflict we see today. Most young people see trans rights as human rights, but people my age and older simply did not grow up that way. We grew up laughing at the persecution of trans people. It was family fun. Some of us grew up and are ashamed, but some are still hateful and proud. The loss of the privilege to hate feels to many people like an oppression. And so we get continued transphobia today, just much more whiny and self-indulgent.
Oh, speaking of whiny and self-indulgent, take a look in the mirror, writer.
That Evolved Potato just outed himself as a horrible, horrible transphobe. He still says "alrighty then."
Oh dear.
I'm ashamed of you, Evolved.
Yes, Queen.
How dare you?
If this person didn't know about trans culture, how could they grow up transphobic? I mean, they're claiming they grew up transphobic.
Because they watched Ace Ventura, Prospero. Weren't you reading the article?
So they're actually, this is amazing. They're time traveling in their own lifetime to go back and beat themselves up about some shit they didn't even know about.
Well, yes, but you see, once again, this is a way that this writer is trying to distance herself from her own crime, because she used to be that way. She needs to make a distinction. I used to be that way, but I am not that way now. So I'm helpful now. So
Nope.
I'm good. I'm one of the good ones now.
There's no redemption. Once you are bad, you are forever bad. That is the rules of the culture as it is today.
Well, that would be if the rules were applied consistently.
Yeah.
No, I say we apply them consistently. Then, like if someone puts shit like this on the
Terry,
internet, treat them as if they are self-confessed transphobes.
Terry, that would be too honest. You're expecting honesty and decency from a progressive. All they're capable of is
No, but what I'm saying is, if this person applies for a job, this article should be used as grounds to cancel them. They are self-confessed transphobes, and there is no coming back from that.
Yeah.
Yep. No redemption for you. No redemption for you.
I think we found
jail. You go right to jail. Sorry.
We found the third author where the best choice is to just kill herself.
Yeah.
Hence, I'm talking about my generation of cis people growing up in a cultural cesspit, but it wasn't about us. We didn't pay the price. For every Ohio boy laughing at Ace Ventura and cheering on the cops, there were cops preying on trans women, or laughing around their murder scenes.
Oh, wow.
For
Anybody have any actual statistics? I bet not.
Are you questioning the author's truth?
Yes, I am.
Ooh, you're a bigot.
How dare you?
Okay.
For every theater full of people laughing at trans bodies, there were people sitting in those same theaters in very real trans bodies. And that's who I think of today.
Name them. Name them. Name the
but-
people sitting in those theaters in trans bodies. And what were they? Why did they take the bodies and put them on? I mean, come on. This is the starving children in China argument. The imagined that millions of trans people that suffered when Ace Ventura came out.
Yeah, it was like genocide, basically.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, no, what all that needs to happen is the trans people who are alive today just need to say, "Yeah, Ace Ventura hurt me." Well, you
No.
weren't alive back then.
They don't say yeah. They say yes, Queen. The
Oh, yeah,
article
that's
is
right.
very clear.
Well, then we
Yes.
get to cancel Jim Carrey,
Yep.
which
Oh,
would
what a shame!
would serve him right.
I grew up transphobic and I grew out of it. But my personal
didn't.
journey
Didn't grow up trans. You didn't grow up.
But my personal journey was someone else's personal hell. They had to grow up with not just the hatred of violent people, but the casual laughter of people like me. And so I am ashamed. I must have
How
been 12.
dare you?
At first,
must
it was a shame.
You should kill yourself.
Yep.
I must have been 12 years old, but I sat in a theater and laughed at a woman being exposed in front of a bunch of armed men. I saw the sequel. This was the fucked up culture I grew up in, and while I was learning at a leisurely pace, real people suffered and died.
So you saw both transphobic movies. I think she's just beyond
To be fair, I
redemption.
think the sequel was better.
I have a proposal to you. Maybe you weren't fucked up back then, and now you are fucked up. Could that be the case? Could you be fucked up now and not back then?
The answer to that is yes, Queen.
Moonshock gets it. Moonshock gets it.
And I oop.
And I,
And I-
Frosted, I've been thinking about that stupid fucking quote all week long. Like, and I oop, like, what the it still gets me. Like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean anyway?
I have no idea. I think often of how the gay friends I have came out after college, well into 2005. Things were messed up for that long, and across most communities they still desperately are. The rising power of trans people across media is really an illusion because A, they're still fighting for the basic right to exist, and B,
Oh, sorry.
the power, the money, and the guns are still with the people who hate them.
Oh, for God's
I love
sake.
whenever they throw out that phrase, "just to exist." I want the right to exist. Who's out there trying to pretend these people don't exist? Who's out there being like, I don't remember, acknowledge your existence. I don't acknowledge your existence. Do you just poof? There you go. Because I didn't acknowledge you.
Wow.
Do you know what movie came out 2 years after Ace Ventura, with all the gay people struggling to exist in those days? Struggling, I tell you, even though I knew tons of them in a very thriving culture, and most of the people I knew were very live and let live about the whole thing. The Birdcage. The Birdcage was a big hit. It was the Americanized version of Le Cage à Folle. Please.
But
That
were
was
they
just
trans?
internalized homophobia. That's what that was.
Yeah, and I mean, shit.
Also, Robin Williams wasn't really gay, so that was bigoted.
Yeah, that was homosexual appropriation.
That's right.
What about Nathan Lane?
He had internalized homophobia.
Yeah, and he was willing to work with a bigot like Robin Williams, so he's guilty by association.
Nathan Lane doesn't exist.
and Gene Hackman and Diane Wiest, and I mean all those people, just really all those bigots, including Mike Nichols. Oh God, this is just getting even worse. Because
Oh, God.
I wonder if there's a street called Nathan Lane, because I wonder if like there's a lot of gay people living there.
honest to God, this is just unbelievable.
I would much rather watch the birdcage than listen to this person for another second.
I'm sure that's bigoted somehow.
The people who dehumanize them, who strip them down to bodies and laugh. I have stopped laughing, but
What is with you people and bodies? Stop saying bodies. It sounds creepy.
But something has to hit the floor.
Yes, Queen.
He's got a point. I have stopped laughing, but I was quite casually part of the problem for many years. So many of us were ignorantly awful. Supporting trans people today is the least we can do.
Actually,
Okay,
the least we can do is
fine.
nothing.
How about not vomiting your diary all over the world? That would be nice. It's like you just do your thing, but they have to tell you about their virtue. They can't they can't follow the prescription of not letting your right hand know what your left hand does. Just do your charity, do your kindness, be a good person. That kind of no. They have to get on top of the parapets and tell everybody, "Hey, I'm really a good person."
But Prospero, if she didn't write this article, how would she tell you that she's better than you?
I know. This is
Good point.
the Anna Kasparian syndrome. It is just
Better than
these people, they're not better than we are because they're so busy congratulating themselves while beating themselves up. My God, they're a mess. And we just need a little island of misfit narcissists. Here, go tell each other how wonderful you are. No, wait, you can't do that because you're only telling yourself how wonderful you are. You don't love anybody else. You tell yourself you love other people, but you don't give a shit about anybody but yourself and your column inches, you self-aggrandizing piece of shit.
Okay, I've got a conspiracy theory. I reckon this whole push towards Marxism was cooked up by therapists trying to drum up business.
No kidding, but my God, it's like the first people who are going to starve in a room full of potatoes. These people could fucking starve.
Well, potatoes are a symbol of white supremacy, didn't you know?
That's true.
There you go. A room full of sweet potatoes.
Well, potatoes are associated with the Irish who are white, so yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
what more proof do you need that they're evil?
And they're ginger, the whitest of whites.
Hey.
All
The
right,
soulless ones walk among us.
Yes, we do.
let's take a break from this ridiculousness for our third game.
Oh, God.
And that is Poor
Kill me
No
now!
Gender
No,
Edition.
Yay!
I love this game.
Terry's favorite game of all.
It is. It absolutely
Make
is.
it stop, for the love of God, make it stop.
Terry
Never.
wins.
And this is the one where I give you 3 genders, 2 of which are from the LGBTIA wiki, meaning they're real, and one I made up. And you have to figure out which one is made up. And I'll even give short descriptions of each gender. All right. So, gender A. Typo gender. A xenogender, in which one's gender is connected to typos, misspellings, and other text or writing mistakes.
I'm telling you, half of these genders are just people were looking around their immediate vicinity and just came up with something based upon the things they could see.
All right. Gender 2.
Never leave their
or-
room.
Gender B, rather. Hot topic homo.
What?
A xenogender connected to the goth and pop culture milieu of Hot Topic.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
It is.
Wow.
All right, and gender C. Royal faggot. A gender
Wow.
connected to being faggot royalty. This gender is also
Oh.
connected to being a self-identified faggot.
Jesus.
All right. And I'll start the poll so that the chat can get in on it.
Oh, Jesus.
You're not making this one easy this time, pal.
Nope.
I'm going to go A because I really, really want the other two to be real.
I know.
No, I don't. I think.
I think C may be the Poe.
I think C, or not C. I think B is the
Yeah,
B is fake.
I'm gonna say B.
Well,
Because of course they'd have a gender with the word faggot in it. Come on.
A royal faggot at that.
It looks like Chad is going between A and B. I think B is in the lead.
mm-mm.
All right, so Jack said B. Terry said A, I think.
Yes.
Let's see. Moon and Prospero.
B.
I'm going C.
All right. And a couple seconds. All right, and the chat chose B by 2 votes. And the answer is B is fake.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that makes me so sad.
When he said the word milieu, I'm like, that sounds like he's trying a little bit too hard. So I got to go with B.
I have to say I'm getting a little frightened. I might be getting good at this game.
Well, after the whole look modeled on Adam Sandler slouch, I figured Hot Topic Homo was possible.
Well, I just, first of all, I knew Royal Faggot had to be real because I don't want to live in a world where it's not.
Yeah.
And of the two, I figured that Hot Topic Homo was funny, so I wanted that to be real. So I had to go with A.
See, I had to find something that was at least close to as ridiculous to Royal Faggot.
But saying the word, like saying Hot Topic Homo, that sounds like some kind of a fucking cowboy name. He's a Hot Topic Homo.
See, this is Terry. This is why I told you to wait until now to choose your Quipper's name.
Yes, I see.
Hot Topic Homo.
Well, I was thinking Royal Faggot, but it's the right number of letters. I think it fits.
All right. So now on to the last article of the night. It's not transracial. It's white privilege.
Oh, fuck off.
The
Then I just
whiteness,
worked out I can go Royal Fagula, so I can combine them too. Combine them.
Fagula.
the whiteness of Ollie London's Korean appropriation racism.
Oh, I know this guy.
In the remaining days of Pride Month, Ollie London came out as non-binary Korean.
Oh God, yeah, I remember this fucking idiot.
But you see, the problem is that since there's a North and South Korea, isn't Korea itself binary?
That's true.
After spending over $240,000 on plastic surgery to look like Korean pop star Jimin of the group BTS, London excitedly proclaims in their British accent that they are Korean. Amongst their standard pronouns of they, them, London attempts to educate us that their other pronouns include Korean/Jimin, as well as Core/Ian. I
love that.
I continue to scratch my head at the idea that one's name and ethnicity are being classified as pronouns in their beliefs.
Have you seen some of the other things being classified as pronouns?
This is worse than Mickey Rooney's racist portrayal of Mr. Yunioshi in Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So now they... Oh, well, I've seen Breakfast at Tiffany's because after all, Truman Capote wrote it. Uh-huh.
As we learn to discuss identity and its relationship with societal norms and mores, the term transracial has become a part of the conversation. Yet
Why wouldn't it?
Do these people know that Woody Allen was mocking people? That they weren't supposed to grow up to be a bunch of characters in a Woody Allen movie?
I don't think irony is a thing that these people understand.
Yeah, I don't think so, because every last one of these people, every last one of these articles is written by people who are figments of their own fucking imaginations.
I mean, how many times have people gone after Tropic Thunder for Robert Downey Jr.'s character?
Yeah, and nobody
That was not meant to be a
cares.
positive portrayal.
Yeah, but and the thing is, though, is that nobody cares until now, when they're trying to fight back in the culture war after
Yeah.
they let them blather on for ages. But honest to God, Medium, is this Medium?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Why don't they just change the name of the magazine? I mean, the you know what I mean, the
Website.
E-Mag to narcissist, self-absorbed narcissist.
No,
That would be too self-aware.
Or they might just change it to me. They put the me in medium.
That's it. That's perfect. That will work.
Yet these transracial actions are only steeped in white privilege.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Oh,
man.
shut up.
Traditionally, transracial was used to define the adoption of a child that is of a different racial and or ethnic background than the parents. In
Really?
2015,
where is the logical stopping point is what I want to know, because you can say that you're basically anything, but you can't say you're a different race. Where in your ideology is that permissible?
Oh,
You have to be
remember-
accepting of literally everything except
No,
race.
Remember, there was the trans age guy who thought he was a 9-year-old girl.
Yeah, and people were expecting him to be accepted.
Yes.
So where's the logical stopping point?
It's
I'm just-
legitimizing mental illness.
I'm just thinking of the old Vine, like, in all ways except physical, I am a wolf. And then he just barks.
Yeah.
I remember that.
In all ways except physical.
In 2015, Rachel Dolezal was exposed as a white woman born to white parents, but otherwise identifies as black. Sis, if you're born white, you're white. At this
That's
point,
very race phobic. That
Wow.
is disgusting.
But that's the first amount of truth I've heard all fucking night in any of these articles.
Yeah, but it's pretty racist.
I don't give a fuck. The woman is fucking white.
No. None of she identifies as black.
She can identify as a fucking twig for all I care. That woman is white.
at
No,
this
she's-
point,
A black twig.
yeah, which makes her a twigger.
Yes.
No.
No,
No.
no.
I
And
was
no.
so waiting for you to say that. Thank you very much.
All right, I'll use the A. She's a twigger. All right.
Twig.
At this point, I want to know, why are so many white people allergic to being white?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's because when you all aren't busy telling us that we're transphobic and everything else, you're busy telling us how wrong we are for being white. So now people are trying to escape their whiteness by being transracial, and now they're even more white.
But
Yeah,
that
like, do
makes
they
too
want
much
us to be white or
sense.
not? Make up your
Well,
minds.
They just don't want any of us to escape notice, I guess. I have no idea.
I'm starting, or starting isn't the right word. I think that they just want us to die. I think that they want all white people to literally die. Not just to just vanish, but to actually go through the process of dying for their personal amusement. I think that they are that narcissistic that if that were to happen, they would have no problem with it. They would get enjoyment from it because that's this type of person that we're dealing with.
I
What
don't
is
think they have any idea what they want.
Yeah. What is pretty telling is that despite Dolezal's years of African American studies and existence in black spaces, whether through serving as faculty chair of an African studies department
What
or
are
chapter-
black spaces?
or chapter president of NAACP in Spokane, Washington, she manages to fix her mouth to say, "Who's the gatekeeper for blackness? Who
Oh,
can
only
protect-"
in fucking Spokane could she pass as black.
Maybe she's at NIU.
There you go.
Who can protect it, define it, own it? White supremacy.
Of
It's-
course.
It's incorrect to ignore the many ways that whiteness has been weaponized and used to systematically enforce many ethnic groups as inferior because they are different. Nobody of rational mind is against Dolezal in London enjoying the music, art, or foods of these respective cultures. But what about
Wait a minute. She
appropriation?
just mentioned something about black spaces.
Yeah,
And now she's saying it's perfectly fine to and I thought all of that was cultural appropriation if
Yeah.
you enjoyed something. So this is another fucking Kafka trap.
well, no, they keep saying these totally contradictory things, and then they keep denying it. They say this is cultural appropriation, but we're not saying that you can't enjoy these things from time to time. No, that's exactly what you're saying. You're just a liar because we are catching you on on your own bullshit, and you're too dishonest to fess up to it.
It just you can't have it both ways. It's one or the other. Either you have your black spaces, and we're not allowed in the black spaces, and that's apparently okay because hey, segregation is fun. But then to say go ahead and enjoy the culture and the food, and that well, where are the black spaces? Are they going to be marked blacks only? I mean, are we going to get a heads up, or is it? I'm sorry, white girl, stop eating those collards.
All right. And the part I love is that this next part you could literally be talking about gender, and it would be the argument from the right. By all means, please continue to do so. The problem is in their self-hatred that in order to feel most like themselves, they commodify the cultures they adore into stereotypical caricatures.
Yeah.
Isn't that exactly what transgender people do?
Mm,
A lot of the time.
Dolezal in London use their whiteness to chameleon into another race and ethnicity, yet have the wherewithal to wonder why they are receiving a negative response. The
Only Sean
notion...
King can get away with that.
That's right. But look at his flared nostrils. He's definitely black.
Yeah.
The notion of leaving well enough alone is a foreign concept as they colonize intimate spaces and then ask for mercy because they're only human. It's the caucasity of it all.
the caucasity of it.
The caucasity.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that on Twitter.
That's
People are using
caucasity.
over caucasity.
Jesus Christ.
I've gotten that as a response.
Do they not know what they sound like when they say these types of things?
Nope.
Smirt. They think they sound smirt.
Even the Armitages had to wonder why their coagula experiment had glitches as they literally body snatched African Americans in Jordan Peele's Get Out.
Which was fictional, incidentally.
No, it's real. London is clearly suffering from severe body dysmorphia and low self-esteem. Both are strong disorders that require professional attention. The commonality of plastic surgery is not what's sparking the outrage. It's London's delusion in correlating that because they've undergone treatments to look Korean, they are therefore Korean. Alright, again, replace that with, they've undergone treatments to look like a woman, they are therefore a woman.
Whoa. Let's not get transphobic here.
Because they have referred to themselves as the king of K-pop, while blatantly appropriating Korean culture is frustrating. There are ways to celebrate and uplift Korean culture that many non-Koreans have done. They have integrated themselves into Korean spaces with tenderness and respect, whether through marriage, friendships, and other avenues of genuine relating. London has only succeeded in marrying a cardboard cutout of Jimin in Las Vegas. Close, but no dice. Without Korean language fluency, London has taken it upon themselves to create TikTok videos teaching Korean, despite being lowbrow Korean adjacent.
What the fuck?
Yeah, at this point, anybody who actually watches a fucking TikTok video and sees it as something that is actually serious, get your head checked. You know,
Yeah, you can't just make TikTok videos willy nilly. This is
of
serious
course
shit.
not.
Just quickly, Keith had to write negrosity letter by letter in chat. So I tried to do it in 2 words, but NEG just on its own, YouTube won't let you say it in chat.
What?
Negro City?
Yeah, like
Negro
to go with
City.
capacity.
All right. Yep.
But she swapped out the E in the end, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did, but
Engro.
me typing NEG and hitting enter, that was not acceptable.
God,
But
that's
Rosity
bullshit.
was fine.
I'm gonna try something.
I was able to do it.
Yeah, I
Works
was
for
able
me.
to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm on a list. Maybe I'm on a list.
I wouldn't be
Because-
surprised.
Because
Well,
if you look at chat, all it says from me is Rosity. My first entry of neg did not go through.
Well, I put in the whole thing. Negrosity. Did that come through?
Nope.
Wow.
Well, try it now, Terry.
Let's see if we can do it.
TikTok is only good for porn, like what Twitter is mostly good for. Yeah, you can do it now, Terry.
So you know what I think it is? I think I typed Rosity too fast and it linked the two comments. Let's see.
Negritude. That's negritude.
Did mine come through?
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, your
Yeah,
NEG
yeah.
did, yes.
Oh, it just says in the thing right after Johnny Blaze's comment.
No.
I
Under
can-
his negritude?
Yeah.
I can see your neg.
It's negrosity that I wrote.
Nope. I have
That
because
didn't
I
go
typed it
through.
in
That
too.
didn't come up.
So they are.
What is so bad about that word anyway? It's
Negro
not
City.
racist.
Yeah.
Fine. Can you put in the word Negro?
All right.
No, you can't.
All right,
Oh my
well,
God.
if
So
I-
you
if
can't speak Spanish in Twitter. I mean in
Alright.
YouTube.
Correct.
No.
If I can't type Negro City, I'll just translate it into chat. See, it went through.
Nicely done.
It went through that time.
No, I didn't see it.
He wrote Chicago.
Oh, there it
Oh,
is.
shit.
Oh, yeah.
It was a delay. That's why.
Oh.
All right. Their confidence is so telling that they show no remorse in correcting native Korean speakers on their Korean pronunciations. There's absolutely no way to make sense of these actions. Receipts show that London utilized Japanese instrumentation and fashion in his music video Heart of Korea. When Korean YouTubers provided their corrections, London engaged their whiteness via slander, libel, and the ever-popular implementation of a diss track.
Blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up.
My God, not a diss track.
I know. Oh my God. So horrible.
I can't pinpoint a moment when I woke up and said, I feel black today. My blackness and how I navigate it through life is usually in response to others. It's the moments when someone asks me to touch my hair or, now that it's summertime, starts comparing the success of their tan to my skin tone.
I
Those
just
are-
love
nobody
this
did that.
hair touching thing. I have no experience with anyone just randomly touching black people's hair that I've seen.
Yeah. I have never, ever seen it. Ever.
The likelihood that any of these things happened is zero. These things didn't happen.
Those are examples of when I become hypersensitive to my blackness. It's like a black spidey sense.
Oh, so this person's standing for the Korean culture because they can't do it for themselves. They need a black person to do it.
I don't
What do
know.
you know about being Korean? You don't know anything about it, so isn't there a fair bit of presumption here?
I mean,
Of
they might have
course.
seen a few episodes of MASH. I don't know.
Yeah.
I imagine the Korean response to London is similar. London gushes about their Korean eyes, and aside from the statement being nauseating, it's upsetting. How dare they? All right.
They've dared. They've become an internet sensation. You're wasting column inches on it because you're all upset, and you're using it as an excuse to complain about white people. This is nice. Oh God.
Cynic and Will are in chat revealing that if they were black, things that happened to them would have been racist.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're not black, so it's white privilege or something.
Yeah,
You probably owe
exactly.
reparations. Oh, great.
Another
Call's gonna
5
end in
minutes
5
until
minutes.
we have to wrap it up.
All right, well, I'm almost done with this one. All right. Let's see. London apparently claims that it's not their obsession with BTS that sparked their transition. It's their love for Korean culture after living there for a year to teach English. Colonizers are gonna colonize. The Jimin look that London is obsessively pursuing is simply a physical manifestation of their love for Korean culture. It does not equate. Backlash calling London's actions offensive, fetishization, and racist is well deserved. Just because one loves the positives of Korean culture does not mean they can culturally comprehend the damages Koreans have experienced due to the West and its suffocating influences. Many Koreans
Wait a minute. Wait. What? Oh, okay. Did they know anything about World War II?
And I'm pretty sure that the West is the reason that all of Korea isn't North Korea.
Well, it's the reason that all of South Korea isn't still comfort women and dead bodies. But yeah, it's all of Korea isn't China.
Yeah.
So, oh, God damn it.
Many Koreans undergo a rite of passage to have their skin lightened, eyelids changed, and noses narrowed. The prominence of Korean LGBTQ+ still needs support. London takes all of this work away and hyper-focuses it on himself. Wow, they just misgendered him. London
Not
and
himself, it's core self or Ian self.
How dare they?
London and Dolezal have monetized their careers on the exploitation of Black and Korean cultures.
Oh yeah, because nobody has made money off of exploiting their gender changes.
Never.
Whether it's through documentary features, speaking engagements, media headlines, Ben Shapiro using AAVE to openly support London's delusions, really? They shift the dialogues of these communities onto them and onto their whiteness. They use their tears to deepen their offensive tactics further into their selfish antics and lash out that we should be focused on the very communities that Dolezal and London are capitalizing on. In the end, people like them will never learn.
Oh, no redemption.
Yeah.
Kill yourself.
Alright. Well, that's all I had for tonight.
Oh,
Google will
Thank
let you
God.
stream.
Yeah,
We
since,
survived another one.
And since we're going to be kicked out by Google soon, I'll just take a minute to show my guests. Let's see. Jack Gunsky has Quippers United on Sundays at 7 p.m. EST. Let's see. Moonshock has his Twitch channel linked in the description, where he plays games that aren't as good as Super Seducer.
Yes.
Terry Diamantis is on every stream known to man, including this, Quippers United, Johnny Hellcat streams, Six is Sober streams, Della Hazed Minions of the Zoo Nights, and...
Wonton Hammer will be taking over Wednesday nights on Minions, and I'll be on that as well.
Alright. And anything you wanted to show, Prospero?
just chilled the Minions in general. You can find me over there for certain on Tuesday nights and a lot of Saturdays.
Alright. Okay, so we'll be on same time next week, Friday, 11:30 p.m. EST. And we'll see you then.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.